up, everyone? It's me, Stef the Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to an episode of Alter Reality. What could have happened with past iconic, memorable films? In this video, did you know that David Hasslehoff was almost Indy in Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark? In this episode, you can work out if the Hoff would have been better than Harrison Ford himself. And if you haven't already done so and you want more of me in these videos, subscribe to join the Alter Nerd tribe. This week, though, will be the 40th anniversary of Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Released in 1981, it's an action-adventure film directed by Steven Spielberg, based on a story by George Lucas. It shows Indiana Jones, an archaeologist, going around the world trying to recover the long-lost Ark of the Covenant before the Nazi German forces get to it. But instead of Harrison Ford playing the Indy role, would you have preferred the Hoff himself to be in that race, to defeat the Nazis and reach the Ark first? It could have nearly happened, because Lucas didn't want Harrison Ford to be cast as Indy in the first place. Spielberg wanted him, but Lucas didn't want Ford to become his Robert De Niro, or that guy I put in all my movies. If this is the case, then what happened with the other actors that auditioned? Well, for David Hasslehoff, and from now on I shall refer to him by his regal title, the Hoff, he said that he nearly got the role, explaining, "I'm the guy who was up for everything, James Bond and Superman. I met with Spielberg for Indiana Jones." He added, "I tell the kids that life isn't fair. Don't assume that somebody is really your friend or that you're going to do another year of Britain's Got Talent. Once you assume that, shiz happens. It's really effing easy to move on." In another interview, the Hoff said, "I've had some big no's, and they kind of threw me into a tailspin. The first was when I was up for Indiana Jones and Steven Spielberg turned me down. The next came when I was up for Superman, and they passed." To this day, he says that his biggest disappointment was that he did not get the role of Indiana Jones. He's very philosophical about it, though, just saying that in the end it wasn't meant to be. And what was the audition process like for the Hoff? Well, if it was anything like Harry Hamlin's, well, that dude recalls a very bizarre process as to what happened with him. Now, check this out. In an interview with Page 6, Hamlin says that he met with Spielberg in 1978 alongside Stephanie Zimbalist, who was auditioning to play Indy's companion, Marion Ravenwood. Spielberg told the two actors that George Lucas, the executive producer on Raiders, was going to be late for the meeting, and strangely asked them to make a chocolate cake while they waited for Lucas to arrive. Which, to be fair, for me, that is a little bit bizarre. He goes on to say he closed the door and left, and we were standing alone in this kitchen. And Hamlin said, "I said, 'Stephanie, have you ever made a chocolate cake?' And she said, 'No.'" Hamlin claims, though, that the cooking request was actually a hidden camera audition set up by Spielberg and Lucas to see if he and Zimbalist had chemistry. While they were trying to make a cake in the production studio's kitchen, Hamlin told Zimbalist about stories he had heard about Spielberg from his friend Amy Irving, who went on to marry Spielberg in 1985. He says, "I was talking about how Amy was calling a friend group in LA and saying that this guy, this director guy, was stalking her in New York, and how she was kind of getting annoyed because this guy, Steven Spielberg, was showing up at the stage door every night with flowers." He goes on to say, "It never occurred to me that we were actually in the audition while we were making the cake. I didn't get the part. Okay. And I've never worked with Steven Spielberg, and I grant you that I never will work with Steven Spielberg, and I never learned how to make a cake." In the end, though, Worked out for the Hoff, don't you think? He went on to star in the phenomenon that was Knight Rider as Michael Knight from 1982 to 1986, and then that led him to be playing another iconic role of Mitch Buchanan in Baywatch from 1989 to 2001. Although we can always dream of a reality where the Hoff plays Indy in a race to get to the Ark first and beat the Nazis, The Independent did a little mock-up, and this is how the Hoff would have looked at like as Indy. And that's it for an episode of Alter Reality. If you would like more movie analysis, more movie stuff, and maybe more of me, then subscribe to join the Alter Nerd tribe, like this video, and comment down below. Do you think the Hoff would have been a better Indiana Jones than Harrison Ford in Raiders of the Lost Ark? And until the next time, you guys, laters.